Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are just going to wait until t about 10:05 to get started today. For those of you all who haven't met me yet, my name is Rio Goodwin Perez, and I am the new director of the Going Home Coalition. And we're gonna just do some introductions to myself today. You all will learn a bit about my history and the vision that we have for the Going Home Coalition in the future. And then you'll get to ask me questions and we'll do a couple surveys. So we'll wait for everyone else to join us. And in the meantime, it's Jennifer's birthday today, so you can type happy birthday in the chat if you want. Hi, Becca.
I see. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Demetra and Melinda have joined us, and Caitlin Crabb. I know.
Oh, yay.
It's one of our partners graduates.
Amazing. Hi, Becca.
Good morning, Becca.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yay.
Do anything fun other
I
than
had lovely
Thanksgiving?
breakfast.
Oh, good.
So I was just telling Rio, I don't usually eat huge breakfasts, but Eric had to drop one of our people off, so he brought me back something from a cafe in town that makes skillets, and I was like, "Oh, I'm belly up. It's the day before Thanksgiving. This is not the morning to stuff myself," but it was so good. And I'm going to try not to be distracted. I have a couple of puppies in the room with me. I don't normally do that, but I'm hearing them like snuffing around. So if I go off camera real quick,
No
I'm
worries.
saving something in my room.
No worries. Thank you for joining us. We're just giving folks a little bit of time to filter in, and then we will get started with our presentation for today. For those of you all who are just joining, we are recording this meeting, and the meeting will be posted to our oh my gosh, I can't speak this morning. The meeting will be posted to our YouTube channel, and you will be able to get access to the meeting. And if you have anyone that you want to send the meeting to, you'll be able to do that as well. And about a week after we finish, you all will receive a copy of the meeting notes, and the meeting notes will have the meeting video in them. And I was telling Jennifer, everyone, that I'm in Chicago and it's very like cold and windy and snowy this morning. And I'm very much like in my cozy mode. And so if I seem a little distracted or sleepy, that is why, because it's like perfect winter weather outside. And it's the day before Thanksgiving. Is anyone doing anything fun for Thanksgiving? Anyone want to share what they're doing in the chat? That's okay. You don't have to share if you don't want to, but I hope that everyone is having need to bake something delicious for tomorrow. I didn't know you bake, Becca. It's very exciting. I am very bad at baking because I'm not great at following instructions. I'm more of a cook because I follow my heart instead of the directions.
My husband cooks that way.
Nice.
We have come to an agreement. It's like, will you at least like make a mental note or jot down when you cook that way? Because that way, if we love it, we have a chance of getting something close to it again. So
That's smart, actually.
turkey ice cream cake. Caitlin, that's so fun.
Whoa. Oh, me and my partner were looking at that actually on the Baskin Robbins window the other day, and just we love it. Yeah, please report back. We would love to hear how good it is. Oh, sound keeps cutting out. I might just be mumbling. Sometimes I forget to raise the volume of my voice. How do I sound right now, William? Great. Okay, so it's 10:06. Looks like we have the majority of the folks that will be joining us today. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and share my screen. All right. Can everyone see the screen? Great. So, welcome to our November Going Home Coalition meeting. Today is November 26th. Just some information before we get started, some housekeeping. This meeting is being recorded and will be available on the Going Home Coalition YouTube page. Please keep yourself muted while our speaker is presenting, but if you have something to share, you can utilize the hand raise option and we will allow you to unmute. You can ask your question, etc. The recorded video with notes, links to video examples, and links to handouts will be emailed within 2 weeks of the meeting. So today we have a fairly short agenda compared to what we're usually up to. We will do a short presentation where I will talk a little bit about myself and my personal history as an organizer so that you all can get to know a little bit more about me. Then you will have the opportunity to ask me any questions about the future of Going Home Coalition or Rev Up or anything else that you're curious about, issues that you'd like us to address. Then we'll talk a little bit about the vision of the Going Home Coalition. So Jennifer and I we've been thinking a lot about what we want the structure of the Going Home Coalition to look like in the future. And I will share a little bit about what we have been discussing. And then we'll talk a little bit about what is coming up in 2026. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's just go ahead and look at my bio. So, as some of you know, my name is Rio Goodwin Perez. I use they, them pronouns. If you are having difficulty with the they, them pronouns, you can use he, him pronouns for me. I do not use she, her pronouns. You can see on the left side of the screen a photo of me. I'm wearing all black. I have curly hair and glasses, and I'm standing outside on a trail. And I'm next to my dog. She is a small brown dog with pointed ears, and her name is Selma. I have worked and work as an artist, an educator, and an organizer, and I'm always dedicated to equity and inclusion. So I have a lot of practices where I'm studying archives, I'm studying systems of oppression, and I kind of include that in all of the work that I'm doing. I formerly worked with Arts of Life. developing integrated arts programs for people with and without disabilities. I worked as the home and community programs facilitator at Arts of Life. Arts of Life is an art studio for adult artists who have IDD and who want to be professional artists. It's a professional art studio that has a gallery attached to it. Artists come to work every day, just like any other artist. They spend about 5 hours a day in the studio making high caliber works. And then the studio itself, the studio manager and the marketing manager and the gallery manager, they work to sell the artist's work and include them in things like art fairs or art shows at museums, etc. The home and community program was created by Annie Solar, who was my supervisor. And the aim of the home and community programs was to create integrated spaces between people with and without disabilities. So we would lead classes in community, we would lead events, we did a lot of networking. And the goal was to really create these spaces where folks who are generally isolated, a lot of IDD folks do not get a lot of time in the community. So we were really creating these intentional spaces where our professional artists would be taken seriously and have the opportunity to be around other professional artists and learn more from them and vice versa. Um, I personally am experienced in social justice education, community organizing, and mutual aid work. Helped create a social justice oriented social studies curriculum that was is currently being used in private schools in the Metro Nashville area. The kind of focus of that social studies curriculum, excuse me, was was the people of the global majority. I really care about hidden and forgotten stories. And so a lot of what I was writing about in the curriculum was things that aren't typically taught in American public schools about different regions throughout the world and different groups of people. I also previously worked with a workers' rights organization. The majority of the work that this organization called Workers' Dignity in Nashville does is helping workers get the money that they haven't been given. So a lot of the times immigrant workers will do jobs and they will not be compensated because bosses think that because they are immigrants, they don't deserve to have the money that they have worked very hard for. So a lot of the work of Workers' Dignity is to ensure that contractors and other laborers have the protections that they need and are properly compensated. And I have a lot of history with mutual aid organizing as someone who is part of the LGBTQIA community. I have worked a lot with other folks who are part of my community to ensure that they have access to things like surgeries that they need, money to pay for rent or other bills, things like that. I also have worked and work as a visual artist, and a lot of my work is exploring the themes of history, colonization, and diaspora. I am a Puerto Rican, and a lot of the work that I do as an artist is tied to my study of my family's dispossession from the island of Puerto Rico. So a lot of the work that I'm doing, I do a lot of sculpture and things like that. And a lot of the work that I do centers around my identity as a Puerto Rican. And I also have lived experience as a person with disability. I have physical disabilities, and I also am autistic. And so I really have a vision to center disabled leadership and expand advocacy within marginalized communities. And that's really my goal for the Going Home Coalition moving forward. All right, let's talk a little bit about the vision for the Going Home Coalition. So on the left side of the screen, there is a photo of three activists. The one on the far left is Black. He has glasses and a do-rag on, and he's wearing a Going Home Coalition shirt that is yellow that says Going Home, Life in the Community. The person in the center is also Black and she has her hair pulled back. She's also wearing a Going Home Coalition t-shirt and she's holding a poster that says, I have rights to live and contribute in my community. And then the person on the far right, he is white and he is smiling and he has a poster that says, I have rights, I can live in the community. So I want to talk about what our goals are for the Going Home Coalition in the future. So, as you all know, the folks who have come before me have done really incredible work to create an amazing network of advocates throughout the state of Illinois. And my goal as the director of the Going Home Coalition is to continue to expand and grow that network and really develop leadership within each region of the state. I really, really want to work on expanding our reach within communities who are the most marginalized. So that might look like folks within the LGBTQIA community. That might look like working with folks who are Black and brown, who are immigrants, who are maybe don't have IDD, but who have other disabilities. And then we really want to locate and develop prospective activists who are passionate about their community and have a desire to create systems change. So we really want to give space to self-advocates who are already really wanting to share their voices. We want to be able to act as kind of a pedestal for them so that they're able to stand up and speak on their own, and we're able to amplify their voices and what they want, what sort of work they want to be done to change the IDD system for the better. So what are some of the logistics of what we're hoping to do? We really are aiming to have regional gatherings to expand networks in regions that are frequently overlooked. So, like I mentioned before, I am in the Chicago area, and as you all know, Chicago oftentimes feels like its own country, its own state. And so I really want to expand beyond focusing on major metro areas. So, looking towards the deep south, looking towards the western side of the state, how can we reach folks that aren't always in the conversations that we are having about the IDD system? We also want to implement town halls to decide on key campaigns as a community. So I'm really aiming to have some campaigns that we're working on together. That may look like helping get legislation passed. That might look like holding protests or supporting folks who are holding protests, etc. But I want the campaigns that we choose to be decided by you all. So we'll use town halls to hear from you all. What are the key issues that are affecting you, and how would you like them to be addressed? And how can we, as a coalition, help make that happen? As I mentioned before, we really want to develop local advocates. So we will be having you guys in just a bit fill out, if you're interested, a hosting survey. That will also let us know that you're interested in working more one-on-one with us to kind of bolster your voice as an advocate. So if you're someone who doesn't feel as if you're super confident in sharing your voice yet. We want to help you get to that point so that when you're in your community, you can speak out and you can tell folks, hey, this is not okay, or hey, we need to support this piece of legislation or anything else like that. And then you also will be able, after you feel more developed as an advocate, you'll be able to locate others who may be interested in working with you to meet your goals. Something that I always do as a historian, an amateur historian, is research and study. So I think that we have such a wealth of history in the disabled community of folks who really put their bodies on the line to fight for our rights. And I think we have a lot to learn from history, from historical campaigns and movements, and also current campaigns and movements. There are a lot of contemporary disabled activists that are really making huge impacts in their community. And we want to study what they're doing so that we can implement that in the state of Illinois. Something else that we'll be doing is looking at ourselves and understanding our class and privilege. So, if we are within the advocacy space, it's so important for us to understand how much privilege we have, how much power we have within the system, so that we can make a change by using the powers that we have, by using the privileges that we have. Um, we will also be implementing processes of self-criticism. So we will be studying our future, or sorry, our past campaigns and looking at the ways that they were and were not successful, so that while we're moving into the future, we're able to understand what we should be doing, what we should stay away from, or maybe what we should try again. And then we'll also be looking to the future. So, something that we are always doing within the disability space is we're reacting to the systems changes that are happening around us. There's a lot of people that are making decisions for us that don't um, include our voices. And so we do a lot of reacting, and that is very, very important work. We need to always be responding to, how other people are treating us and how other people are shifting the systems around us. But we also should be looking to the future. We should be thinking about if we want a more inclusive IDD system, if we want folks to be moving into the community and out of institutions, what will that look like? What is the infrastructure that we need to create to make that happen? And how can we, as advocates, be part of that change? I forgot to describe the photo on the left, but on the left side of the screen is a photo of two individuals. The person on the left has gray, long, kind of shaggy hair and a mustache, and he's wearing a Going Home Coalition t-shirt that is gray. And on the right, there is a person with short hair. They are white and they are wearing a gray hoodie, and the poster that they're holding says "Home is where you belong," and it has a photo, sorry, a drawing of a house. Okay, so I have done a lot of speaking, and now it is time to talk about some engagement. So, as we're moving into the future of the Going Home Coalition, we really want to get some feedback from you all. We want you to tell us, first off, when are you available to meet? When is the most accessible time for you to meet? We want to ensure that as many people are able to attend the meetings as possible. We also want to know, what are your access needs? What languages do you speak? Do you need translation in the meetings? And then we also really want to know, what are you interested in talking about? What topics do you want us to address? So I want to give you all 2 minutes to click the link that Jennifer has dropped in the chat or scan the QR code on the screen and take a look at the first survey that we are going to be looking at today. I'm going to give you all 2 minutes to, if you want to start filling it out now, you can. But if you just want to take a look at it and then fill it out later, you can do that as well. But I really want to encourage all of you in this room. If you are someone with IDD, if you're a provider, if you're a family member, if you are a DSP, we want to hear your feedback because we want you to be involved in this work. So I am going to go off screen for 2 minutes, give you all some time to take a look at this survey, and then we'll come back and we'll look at another very short survey for you all to fill out if you are interested in hosting. There's 1 minute left on my timer. Okay, great. So now let's look at the second survey. So, as you all know, we typically have a self advocate join us for each of our meetings. And we are hoping to work with many more self advocates. So if you are someone who considers themselves a self advocate, who maybe has lived experience with IDD or has lived in an institution before, we really want to work with you. You can scan this QR code and you can fill out a very short survey. We will collect your name, your email address, and any more some small information about you. And then Jennifer or I will reach out to you and ask you if you would like to be involved in hosting our webinars. The host does get compensated. There is a stipend of $50 per session. So take the time to look at this survey, and if you're someone who is interested in this opportunity, please fill it out. if you are someone who maybe is not interested in the opportunity, but you know someone else who might want to work with us, please save this survey link so that you can send it to them and we can work with them because we really want to continue building our amazing roster of self advocates that we can give the opportunity to host our meetings. So I'm going to give you all another 2 minutes to take a look at this survey, and then we can move into our Q&A session. One minute left. Okay, great. Thank you all so much for taking the time to fill out the survey. If you did not get the time to finish and maybe you lost the link or you didn't get the chance to record it, we will be sending out these surveys again several times in the December newsletter and then again in January. So you will get the chance to fill these surveys out, and we really, really hope that you do, no matter who you are. We want you to be involved in the Going Home Coalition, and we value your feedback so that we can make this space as accessible as possible. So before we go into a little bit of Q&A, I want to talk about what we've got coming up in the new year. Jennifer and I have been busy planning what January and February will look like. So our Going Home Coalition Town Hall is going to be on January 21st at 6 p.m. If you scan this QR code, you can get to the registration link, or you can follow that short URL at the bottom. And during this town hall, we'll be discussing whatever you all want to focus on in the new year. So it's very important that as many of you show up as possible so that we can hear from you what you want us to focus on, what campaigns you might be interested in us leading, etc. And then we will have a very exciting Going Home Coalition in February where the executive director of the Arc of Illinois, Samantha Allaway, will be joining us to discuss the IDD systems redesign Coalition. So the IDD Systems Redesign Coalition is led primarily by, or not primarily by, excuse me, is led by folks at the University of Chicago who are part of the Institute on Disability and Human Development. It also includes the ARC of Illinois, the Institute on Public Policy for People with Disabilities, IARF, and the Center for Developmental Disability Advocacy and Community Supports. So the IDD Systems Redesign Coalition is taking a look at the IDD system, is hoping to collect information from you all, those of you who are integrated into the system or maybe see it from the outside, and they want to hear from you what is successful and what is not successful about the system, and they're aiming to propose changes to the system. So it's very important that as many of us are involved in this process as possible. So during the February meeting, you will hear a little bit more from Samantha about the System Redesign Coalition. And then in the future, you will have the chance to go to one of the listening sessions where they're collecting data to kind of compile everyone's stories and take a look take a look at what is successful and what is unsuccessful in the current system. And then we have some exciting Rev Up meetings as well. We will also have a town hall in January for Rev Up, and similar to the town hall for Going Home Coalition, we really want to hear from you all. What are you interested in learning about that has to do with the elections process, has to do with voting, has to do with legislator outreach, etc.? And then we have not yet decided on our Rev Up Illinois meeting for February, but we will know by the end of December, and you all will get some information regarding that meeting as well. So I highly encourage you, if you're coming to the Going Home Coalition meetings, to also come to Rev Up Illinois, because Rev Up Illinois is focusing specifically on creating change within the legislative system and empowering folks to get to the polls. As you all know, we are heading into election season here in Illinois, and we have some very important elections that we are privileged to be able to take part of. So I encourage all of you all to come to our Rev Up Illinois meeting so that you feel confident heading into election season, that you're able to make the choice that you would like to make. You feel empowered in your vote. Okay, so now I want to do some small Q&A. I want to open the floor to folks for you to ask questions. If you have any questions for me about my experience, or if you have questions or comments about just feedback about the Going Home Coalition, please drop them in the chat, or you can raise your hand and I will let you come off mute, and you can share some of your thoughts with the rest of the group. And I think it's important to note that moving into the new year, we will be having our meetings in a meeting format. So you all will be visible on the screen. You'll be able to mute and unmute yourself. And you all will be able to see one another, and it will feel like a real coalition meeting. So it won't just be my face doing the Rio show right up in the center of the screen. Um, if you don't feel comfortable sharing questions or comments, Jennifer dropped my information in the chat. You can give me a call. You can send me an email. You can let me know what you're thinking about, what you have questions about, etc. And we can have more of a discussion. I know sometimes it's a little bit intimidating to drop comments in the chat, so feel free to reach out to me personally. I'm also excited for next year. Becca said she's excited for next year. All right. Well, if no one has anything to share, I think it's very fitting for us to finish early today. I hope that everyone has a really restful holiday season, and we will see you all next year in January. We will not have any meetings for the month of December. Jennifer and I will be working a lot on developing the structure of Going Home Coalition moving forward and planning out all of our exciting meetings and everything like that. So we'll be kind of in hermit mode for the month of December. But you all have my contact information. You can give me a call, you can give me an email at any point. And I would love, love, love to hear from you, to meet all of you all personally and to have the chance to hear about your experiences. So please feel free to reach out to me. And Jennifer says, planning has been exciting. I'm looking forward to us all teaming up and making good trouble together. I agree. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming. It was great to share space with you. I can't wait to see you all in the new year. If you did not fill out the survey, please fill out the survey so that we know when you all want to meet and what issues you would like to focus on. I will see you all soon. Have a nice day. Bye.